What's up, gamers? I'm back. This video is just explaining the team that I used to get from unranked all the way to the Master Ball tier. I just figured I'd show it because I went from having no experience in doubles within like the last 5 years probably. I played in X and Y. I don't even remember when that came out. But then I didn't play through any of the next generations to come or games. And then I built this team because I wanted to get back into it. And I went from, unranked to Master Ball tier with almost a 70% win rate. So this team is pretty easy to use. It's pretty solid. It's pretty simple, and it's really effective. You just have to know what you need to save for what specifically. So I'm going to start it off with Whimsicott, who's there for Tailwind support. It's running Focus Sash just to make sure it's going to be able to get Tailwind and then another hit off afterwards. So I'm running Timid with max speed and max special attack. So it's going to hit like a truck as far as it can. It's not necessarily the strongest special attacker, but it's got some powerful moves. It's got Energy Ball and Moonblast. I didn't run Energy Ball to start with because I was running Helping Hand just for more support, but I ran into so many Rhyperiors and Gastrodons that Energy Ball became like a necessity. The higher up in the ladder you get, you kind of have to run Energy Ball, especially with a team that doesn't hit those super well, like mine, because Rotom isn't going to hit a Gastrodon Water Absorb, and it's not going to really want to deal with the Rhyperior once it's big mode and weakness policy. So that's what Whimsicott's here for, just Energy Ball, Tailwind. Moonblast will one-hit KO Dragapults, which is really big as long as they're not Focus Sash, which most aren't, and as long as they're not Dynamaxed. And if they are Dynamaxed, they're probably not going to be doing a whole lot anyway unless they're bug moving onto your Whimsicott, but they probably have bigger problems than your Whimsicott to deal with. So the next one is Hitmontop. He's also there for support. I was originally running Citrus Berry on him just for the HP gain, but as I got higher up the ladder, I ran into someone running Eject Button, which, seems super obvious, run Eject Button on Intimidate, duh, but I haven't played in a long time, so it took me a while to make that adjustment. So I got Eject Button on him so he can Intimidate, he can put Fake Out Pressure, he has Close Combat, Helping Hand, he can do any of that stuff, Eject Button, and he's out, and then he can come back in later and Intimidate again. I'm running a max HP, max defense boosting nature Hitmontop just to make him as defensive as possible. He's just supposed to be the defensive wall of the team, which is his defense stats not super high, but with the Intimidate, when everything's -1, it's going to be solid. So there's a set Protect, Helping Hand, Fake Out, and Close Combat. Close Combat hits pretty hard. It's there for especially like Snorlax and Ferrothorn, which also pretty much wall this team pretty well. I ran into a Ferrothorn and Snorlax quite often, and it wasn't necessarily an auto lose. You just have to be able to play around it effectively, which usually, interestingly enough, comes with not burning the Snorlax. Because if you burn it trying to lower its attack, they usually run Facade. So you have to do some stuff with Hitmontop, Intimidate, Close Combat, Fake Out shenanigans to be able to deal with it. After that, we have another offensive threat. I'm running Choice Specs Rotom Wash. If you watch the beginning episodes, I was running Rotom Heat. I ended up switching up to Rotom Wash because there was things like Rhyperior, who needed to get hit hard, who just really didn't by my team. And then I ended up adding Energy Ball too, so it was just a double threat. And then the Thunderbolt was really good for Corviknight, which, Rotom Heat's really good for Corviknight too, but Rotom Wash was just more utility for my team. It was another water weakness when I already had 2, so that's why I went with that. I'm running Choice Specs on it with no special attack investment. I'm running special defense boosting nature, full HP, full special defense EVs, just to make it a little bit more tanky. So the Choice Specs allow me to get off a powerful Thunderbolt at a one-shot most Corviknights, depending on what spread they're running. I'm running Will-O-Wisp on it because you can either Specs yourself in a Will-O-Wisp and then Dynamax and get out of it, or you can Trick and then you're free to Will-O-Wisp and switch moves whenever you want. But Will-O-Wisp is just a really good move to have, regardless of if your Specs or not. And then obviously Hydro Pump for things like the massive big mode Rhyperiors that everyone's running because everyone's running Trick Room. And this team is absolutely not Trick Room. They're all as fast as they can be for the most part with Tailwind, just because I think Trick Room's boring. I'm more of like a hyper offense rather than bulky, slow offense type deal. So the next one that goes into that is Tyranitar, running Weakness Policy T-Tar just because he's so bulky, even though I just said I don't like bulky offense. I don't really consider this bulky offense because it's not super slow. I'm going to sit here and take 1,000 turns to kill you. He's got Weakness Policy, Max Attack, Max HP. So you get him a Weakness Policy, usually going second, unless you have a Tailwind up. So he's going to get a Weakness Policy, and then a +2 Rock Slide across the other side of the field is going to be devastating for whatever they want to have. And if they have Focus Sash, it's going to die to Sandstream after that. So T-Tar is just a huge threat. Running Earthquake for spread moves. It's really good against Duraludon specifically because Duraludon can kind of shut down a T-Tar. Adamant, he's running max attack and Sandstream, which is a big deal because we have Sand Rush Excadrill, which is essentially another form of Tailwind. So Sand Rush is going to double its speed in the sand. You can run Mold Breaker to hit things like Rotom that have Levitate with your ground moves, but for the more hyper offense with the T-Tar, you got to run Sand Rush just to make it as fast as possible. That way you don't have to rely on setting up a Tailwind every time to outspeed. You have Excadrill as a fast sweeper anyway after your T-Tar's in, or you can lead them together. There's really a lot you can do. I'm running Jolly to outspeed other Excadrills, or at the very least speed tie with max attack, max speed, Sand Rush, like I said. So that way you can outspeed anyone that's not max speed Excadrill, or if you speed tie, you still have a chance of winning it and killing them. Excadrill's really good because you can Dynamax and you have high horsepower Rock Slide and Iron Head, and Iron Head will boost your defense, whereas high horsepower is going to raise your special defense. So you have things that are going to set up your team as you're going, which can be really handy. It can help you live like a move that you shouldn't really be living in the first place. And it just hits incredibly hard with the Life Orb. It's going to make it take a little bit of HP every time it attacks. And then last, we have Dragapult. It was kind of the one I really wanted to use. Coming into the new generation, it looks super cool. I think it's one of the coolest designs, especially how its tail goes kind of transparent because it's a ghost type. I think that's just sick. Anyways, running Choice Band on it to make it hit as hard as possible. And then Jolly Nature, because you want it to be fast. It's insanely fast. Like, its base speed is crazy. So you just want to run Jolly just to make sure. Again, same thing with Excadrill. You just want to outspeed other ones, other Dragapults. And Clear Body protects it from being lowered, which is huge because a lot of people run Intimidate in doubles. You don't have to worry about Intimidate because your Dragapult has Clear Body and it's not going to get its attack lowered. And then its moveset, Dragon Darts, Phantom Force, Psychic Fangs, and U-Turn. U-Turn I found can be really useful against Trick Room setters. When you know they're going to set up Trick Room and they're probably going to be sashed, you just U-Turn on them, and then you double up into them with your other one, or you use a spread move like Rock Slide and you kill them. So they get their Trick Room up, but it costs them their life, and then you're up 4-3, but they're just going to outspeed you for 5 turns. And then you have, it's pretty much even at that point when you know they're going to be faster, but you have more. Psychic Fangs is an interesting thing I'm running that not everyone decides to run. A lot of people run Dragon Claw just for the single target dragon move. But I ran Psychic Fangs because I saw a lot of screen setters as I was laddering. There's a lot of screen setters. Psychic Fangs is going to destroy their screens, which can be really handy if their whole Pokemon's idea is just spent 2 turns setting up screens. You come out with your Dragapult, break the screens in 1 turn, and do a ton of damage with your Choice Band. So that's the team. I will show you right now. I'll put on the screen my rank as I got to Masters. I was 54 games total, I think, 34 and 20, which ended up being like a 68% win rate, I think is what it exactly came out to be. I don't want to show you my exact rank right now because I just recorded another video and I don't want you to know the outcome of it before, you know, like as I try a new team, you can't see before if I won or not. That's lame. So I'll put that right here. You'll be able to see, and I'll put the code in the description, and I'll show that to you guys too. So if you guys want to check the team out, you can use it on your own. It saves you a lot of time breeding, which is really handy. And then you can try out the team. It's a really good beginner team. It's super simple as far as the concept goes. There's no specific EVs for specific Pokemon yet. I'm not that in-depth into it. I will be, but just not yet. So I hope you guys use this team and enjoy it. It got me all the way to Master Ball tier, and it was a lot of fun. So thanks for checking out the team. Thanks for watching the video. I'm going to be posting every day with these Pokemon laddering videos. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button and come back tomorrow. Peace out.